Hey everybody, I'm Rob Childs. I'm a Rapier swordsman out of the United States. Hope everybody is staying healthy and not going too crazy with all of the self-isolation going on. I will say that I've been heartened to see everybody out there, all those swordsmen, keeping up on their training regimen as best they can, given the isolated nature that we're all dealing with right now. I was asked by some folks in order to get some more knowledge out there if I would be willing to do some videos showing some of the things that I have learned over the last 32 years and how I'm able to do that. So what I'm aiming to do is to do a couple of short videos, very short, something that can get some information out, and anybody at all can add these things into their own style. It's not going to be anything style specific. So that being the case, I had a student once who had asked me, after watching me fence against someone, how I was able to do what he had called a no-look parry. So basically the person had committed to a flèche, I parried the attack, and as he ran by, I put my dagger up behind me because I knew that that was where the attack had to come from if he threw it. Sure enough, he did. So what I wanted to do was just to explain a little bit about that and then show you a drill that I use in order to help me establish my own internal timing on things. Now, first off, it wasn't any supernatural skill involved in that. It was just a matter of part of my style is how I will force my opponent to go down known pathways that I know they have to follow. So in that particular instance, there was only one path he could follow if he was to follow up with a riposte against me. And so I put my dagger in the way, and sure enough, I was in the right. So that being the case, let me show you a little bit about what I do in order to establish that timing. Now, here's a very simple drill that you can do utilizing a suspended tennis ball. Now, starting off, it's basically a one tennis ball exercise whereby just start it swinging. Now, what you do next is stand in front of it, and then when it has passed by you, walk backwards again. So again, it's swinging, you step in front of it, use your internal sense of timing to know how long it takes to cross behind you. Now there's a couple of things you have to keep in mind. One is the ball is going to be losing momentum, so you constantly have to be aware of how far the tennis ball swung and how far it's going to take in order to swing in the other direction. That time is going to change ever so slightly on every single swing, so you have to be cognizant of that. So again, you swing it, you step, and when it has gone past you, you let it swing by you. Now at first it's going to be fairly easy, but as it loses momentum, it'll hit you. So what you have to do now is be cognizant of the fact that you've only got X amount of time, X amount of distance, put those two together and move according to your internal clock. Okay, so if you wanted to make this drill a little bit more difficult, then I highly encourage you to always continue challenging yourself. Instead of just simply walking forward and walking back after a single swing, you can allow that tennis ball to swing a couple of times behind you with you tracking it internally and then stepping past once it's gone a couple of times. So for example, you swing it, step in front of it, let it swing once and maybe twice, and then step through. And as you get better and better at that, let it swing once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then step through. It's a really good way to help train that internal timer for yourself, so that way you are able to do these things without having to think about it. As you practice this more and more and you get better and better at it, then what you're going to want to do is utilize 2 tennis balls. Swing them, and then step back past them. And all you have to do is utilize your own sense of timing to determine when you move. Just like that. Now, I prefer to always be advancing the difficulty level of all of these drills. So if you have the room and the space for it, by all means, line up several tennis balls in a row and then walk forward, get them all swinging, and then using, again, your sense of timing, just simply walk back, okay? Walk all the way through, walk all the way back. It's a very simple drill, but it applies directly to your ability to know how long it takes something to swing. And in particular, it lends itself to what I was talking about earlier in forcing your opponent down a known path. You know what that path is, you know how long it takes to get there, you don't have to think about it, you just do it.